Welcome to the Music Nut Program. I'm John. Thank you so much for joining me today. And welcome back to the latest edition of It's Thin Lizzy Thursday. Today, I will review Thin Lizzy's 12th and last studio album, Thunder and Lightning. This was released on March 4, 1983, and it was released on Vertigo Records in the UK, Mercury Records in Canada, and Warner Brothers Records in the United States. This would be the first and only album to feature John Sykes on lead guitar, and this would be a reversal of fortunes for Thin Lizzy. In the UK, it would hit number 4 on their album charts and it would give them a silver certification. It would also give Thin Lizzy 2 top 40 hit singles. It would hit number 159 on the US Billboard Top 200 albums in the United States. This album was produced by Thin Lizzy along with Chris Sangarides. I gave you a few of the albums he produced in the last show. Here's a few more for you. He also produced Judas Priest Painkiller, Tigers of Pantang Spellbound, New Model Army self-titled album from 1987, Bruce Dickinson's Tattooed Millionaire, Overkill's The Killing Kind, and the Straub's album, The Ferryman's Curse. The lineup at this point in Thin Lizzy, we have Phil Lynott on bass guitar, lead vocals, and main songwriter. We have Brian Downey on drums and percussion. We have Scott Gorham on guitars and backing vocals, Darren Wharton on keyboards and backing vocals, and John Sykes on guitars and backing vocals. And here's the cover. Once again, we don't have Jim Fitzpatrick. We have pictures on here by Bob Elsdale. This is quite a pretty cool album cover, I would say. And the back is just part of it with the guitar getting hit by the lightning. And then on the inside, on my liner notes are very, this is an import copy. The liner notes on here are pretty scant. We just have a photo of a performance photo on here as well. But interesting, you don't see Darren Wharton here amongst all the lasers and the smoke. So, Thunder and Lightning, Thin Lizzy's heavy metal album, an outlier. I've been talking about outliers as songs throughout the series. This is an outlier as an album. You don't have the unison guitars here, which was a very famous part of their sound, starting with the Nightlife album. What you have here is John Sykes going shred, doing a lot of finger tapping on the guitar. Scott Gorham is playing some solos, but John Sykes is the focus as far as the guitar solos on the album. We're getting heavier. The performances are very spirited. Songwriting wise, similar to Chinatown and Renegade in the fact that it starts out hot and it fizzles out on the second half. We don't have quite the diversity that we had on Renegade, but we still have some. Let's go over the tracks. The title track, it is relentless and raging and catchy. Very strong. I was talking about Phil's vocals not really being as strong as they were before on Chinatown Renegade. They're even worse at this point, technically, but his vocals fit the heavier direction of their sound, I believe, on a lot of these songs. We got a kick-ass chorus on here. We got solos from Scott. And then Darren has this wild keyboard solo that just comes out of nowhere. And then we got John Sykes doing a great solo on here as well. This would be the lead track on the Thunder and Lightning tour as well. A lot of people really love this song. This is become a band favorite. This is the one is a pretty strong second track. We have a good chorus on here. Keyboards are adding a lot of nice color to the chorus. The thing about the keyboards on this album, more prominent than Renegade, but it doesn't really make it like a poppy album or a new wave album. This is clearly a hard rocking album. And I think the keyboards on here are they're adding fire when they have to and adding subtlety when they have to. The space between the notes on here in the verses is very good. Good song. The sun goes down. Mellow, tranquil, not a ballad. The keyboards adding a lot of atmosphere. The guitars are more about the color on this. Good vocal melody from Phil on here. And it's very good. It's very mellow. Nice guitar solo on here. Very emotional guitar solo. It is an outlier. Again, I mean, this is something that's very different for Thin Lizzy, but we were getting more and more songs like this in their catalog as time went on. And most of the time, they worked. The Holy War. If you were to say a song by Thin Lizzy was a dance song, this is the one. No pun intended on that, because it's that steady, repetitive bass line from Phil and that drum line from Brian that really carried a song. The guitars are more slashy, like 70s funk, but played with more fire. Song about good and evil works very well. The chorus is killer on this. We have another spoken word part after the solos from Phil, after another chorus, too. Very strong track. My favorite track on here, along with the next track, Cold Sweat, a song that just comes in and just rips your face off, really. Heavy metal Thin Lizzy at its finest. What a riff on here. What a delivery. Phil sings the heck out of it. Great guitar solos on here. You can tell John's doing all kinds of finger tapping on this song. This is a song that's one of the more covered songs by Thin Lizzy as well. This has been covered by most notably Megadeth, but it's also been covered by Sodom, Halloween, and Contrarian's favorite Reed Little, Yorn. Had to do that. Great track, though. This has aged very well. So we got a pretty strong first half here. Second half, just like Chinatown Renegade, not so much. The craftsmanship, it's the songs that really fall off here. Although we do have one really good one. Someday she's going to hit back. Love the meaning, love the premise, love the passion, love the delivery. It's it's not a really good song in my opinion. Certainly compared to everything they've done, really. I mean, I'd put this above a few songs on Shades of a Blue Orphanage. I definitely put it over Having a Good Time from Chinatown, which I don't care for. The delivery is very strong. We do have another crazy keyboard solo on here from Darren as well. It rocks. And Brian Downey's drumming on here is excellent. My favorite drumming by him on the album. But as a song, it's not that hot. And I like it more than Baby Please Don't Go, because I think Baby Please Don't Go, it's just very repetitive. We do have a nice bridge in it, and it's very spirited, but as a song, I just don't think it gel. It does rock. I will say that. I don't think that these two songs are very well written. Now, Bad Habits is a different story. Bad Habits is very melodic hard rock. I think this is a really cool tune. This could have been a single. I mean, a lot of people would have been like, "Oh, that's Thin Lizzy." They don't sound like Thin Lizzy because you don't have the unison guitars here. But as a song, it's a very melodic hard rock song that works quite well. Heart Attack is the last song on here. Similar to Baby Please Don't Go in the fact that it's performed with a lot of passion and it's very spirited, but I don't think it's a very well written song, and I don't think it's a good, certainly don't think it's a good closer. Yes, it's heavy metal, this album, but half of it I think is, or maybe six songs I think are pretty good. And Holy War and Cold Sweat and Thunder and Lightning I think are very good. But this is Thin Lizzy's Thunder and Lightning from 1983. So, what do you think of this album? What do you think of this change in direction by Thin Lizzy? What do you think of no unison guitars here, but more shredding by Scott Gorham and especially John Sykes? What do you think of Phil's lyrics as well as his vocal delivery on here? What do you think of Brian Downey's performance on here? What do you think of Darren's contribution to Thin Lizzy as a keyboardist? Please let me know in the comments. Next week, we will go over the two live albums that Thin Lizzy put out during Phil Lynnett's lifetime. Now, there have been a lot of posthumous live releases in the last several years, but I'm going to go over their seminal live album from 1978, Live and Dangerous, and I just dropped the other one. It is their 1983 album, Life. This was from the Thunder and Lightning tour. This is a two-disc version. And just to give you some programming notes, we are continuing the Up to the Limit series on the Accept Studio channel, on the Accept Studio catalog on my friend John Clauser's channel, My Music Corner. This week, we will be reviewing their 2021 studio album, Too Mean to Die. Our guest this week is Dan Chartrand from the YouTube channel Off the Charts. I will also be putting out a top 10 albums show for 1990 very, very shortly. I already have the list. I just have to do the show. I will also be doing an album after show in the next few days. And you know me, I love to give spoilers. So here you go. So until I see you again, do what you love, and I'll talk to you soon.